A small village called Dami lived a young handsome king called Adam. Because of Adam's handsome features, every young woman wanted to become his wife. He was well known for having a lot of beautiful wives, yet still he wasn't satisfied. Every year, Adam summoned thousands of women in the village to present themselves to him, and the one that is found pleasing will eat an apple presented by Adam himself. Due to this, people always called him Adam's apple. The year had almost come to an end, which means women were eagerly preparing for the big event. Ada, who was unbothered about the whole event, stood beside a river while her friends Ife and Indu secretly talked about how they were going to dress to entice the king so that they would be chosen. While they were talking, the king passed by and spotted Ada beside the river. He said to himself, "This is my next wife." The day for the big event had come. All women from the village and nearby villages were summoned in front of the king's palace. Announcements were made and the selection began. Each woman came in front and bowed before the king. The king carefully inspected all of them but wasn't pleased. The king said to his right-hand man, "I am looking for a beautiful lady I spotted beside the river the other day. I am sure she did not present herself." The king said in a gentle tone, "Search every house until you find her. She is the one I want," he ordered. The king's right-hand man gathered some men and set off on their bare feet and went to every house in the village but could not find Ada. Their way back, they found her beside the river bank. They quickly grabbed her and took her to the king's palace. Immediately the king saw her, he was delighted. They quickly sent Ada to bow in front of the king, and the king gave her the apple. Ada was very angry and resisted taking the apple, but she was held tightly and was made to eat it. The king then announced to the crowd that he had found his new bride. Ada's friends, Efe and Indu, saw this and were greatly displeased. They called Ada a hypocrite. Little did they know she was forced to take the apple. When evening came, Adam wanted to sleep with his wife. It was a norm that every wife of Adam would be made to conceive within a week, and any wife who refused to bear a child would be banished from the village. When Ada heard this, she was terrified because she knew very well that she could not bear a child. When Ada heard that she would be banished from the village if she wasn't able to conceive, she was indeed scared. She wanted to confide in the king, but she didn't know how to do it because she didn't know the king well enough. When it was late, the king came in so they could try and conceive, but Ada quickly refused. She did so in order to prevent everyone from finding out. Every night, the king kept trying, but Ada kept refusing. This made the king very suspicious. One day, Adam decided to confront Ada about it, so he did. He asked Ada, "Ada, can't you conceive? Why are you avoiding me?" he said. Ada couldn't hide it any longer than to confide in the king. Once she told the king, he suggested they run away from the village in order to avoid people from finding out. Ada was indeed surprised with the king's reaction. She didn't know that the king loved her that much. She then started opening her heart to the king's love. That evening, they stayed up all night and planned everything, and once they were done, they decided to set off early the next morning. Not knowing, Efe and Indu had planned everything and reported it to the queen mother. Early the next morning, the king woke up and quickly went to Ada's room so they could leave. To his surprise, Ada was nowhere to be found. He quickly went out of the palace to look for her. and found her lying on the floor, surrounded by everybody in the village. She was about to be banished from the village. Adam quickly went to the queen mother and pleaded. He told her that both Ada and himself would find a way. The queen mother agreed and gave them only 3 days to conceive. Adam then quickly went back and took Ada out with his luggage. They were on their way to find out a solution to Ada's condition. They searched and searched and searched, but found nothing. On their 3rd day, something strange happened. They found a golden egg that said, "Make a wish, I will grant it to you." They didn't believe in it, but made their wish anyway. "I wish we could have a child," they said. Once they were done, they took it along and went back home. That evening, they tried, and to their surprise, they were able to conceive. The whole village rejoiced because this was the first son of the king, and they made him the only heir to the king.